that is about to happen to me. Why I feel this way, I don't know, maybe.
I'm Black Hibiscus, and I am not media trained. I think we're in like the 35th minute. I haven't reached halftime yet. The game maybe going one way, could be going another way, but a lot could happen still.
Key moments in the first half.
I mean, deciding to start making music, key moment during COVID, you know, like everyone else, stuck at home with nothing to do, and I just picked it up in GarageBand, and the singing was terrible at first, but I had to like learn how to sing and started singing over my production, and so just started going more from there. So I think that's definitely a massive moment. Meeting Dennis Free, pretty big moment as well. I think that's when I started taking music kind of seriously, because like, I mean, and you'll see this in the other interview, but Dennis Franklin is a serious guy. And I think having him respond to my music, you know, so positively and like wanting to manage me, I think gave me the push I needed to be like, okay, I can actually take this seriously and make something of this. That's when that started.
Might be so sad, might leave my nose running. I just don't want her to leave me.
I mean, so I've been super into music as a consumer like my whole life. Some of my earliest like happy memories from when I was a kid. So like my dad used to work crazy hours. He'd like get up at 4 a.m. and on Friday nights, whenever he would get back, they'd let us stay up late, and it'd be me, him, my mom, my brother, all in my parents' bed, and we just listened to whatever music they would play. So when they showed us like Fela, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Whitney Houston, that whole, you know, bunch of music. And that was just like, I think obviously because I would get to spend the time with my family and hearing all this brand new music, like that was just some of the best times I had as a kid. I started finding my own music when I was like 12, 13, you know, at some point in middle school. And it wasn't great music. It was like a lot of Eminem, a lot of Rihanna and Adele, Sam Smith, early J. Cole. No, I mean, no, it's definitely like good music. Like it was like quality. I think it just wasn't as deep as I could have been going, obviously, you know.
Dennis was bringing you on some random.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I really connected with. And then I played the guitar as well a little bit growing up, but only really like open chords, like pop music type stuff. I never really got super deep into it. But yeah, I went through high school, you know, discovered like Frank Ocean's, how they created that whole scene of music with the alternative, like R&B, Odd Future stuff, the internet, Steve Lacy, all that, got really into that. And then I found this artist, Nick Hakim, who I became a massive fan of. He makes like alternative soul, but it's very like, it's a very modern production where a lot of distortion, reverb on his voice, but a very soulful, almost like D'Angelo-like delivery and composition. And then my senior year of high school, I met this guy, Moye, who's also Nigerian, so you know, we bonded in school. He was the first person I knew who produced any music, and he had like his name in the credits on Spotify of like someone's song, and I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. And that was my first exposure to like music production, and so I watched him work in like Logic and stuff. During college, I studied design, so that's where the designer in me comes from. I love design. I didn't love the way I learned it because I went to a tech school, so it's very like technically oriented and like commodity driven, I guess, and that's not really for me. But during COVID, I feel like I just got jaded. I checked out of school mentally. I just got really bored at home. It was the longest time I spent in Nigeria since I left for boarding school, and there's nothing to do, and I just decided one day to start up in GarageBand. And I took what I knew on the guitar, started expanding my knowledge there a bit, learned how to play like bar chords, and like started learning like King Cruel songs, Steve Lacy songs as well, and like more complex chords. Started making beats. I think pretty early on the beats sounded decent, and I could like make stuff that people were like, okay, this is quite cool. And then I started trying to put my voice on it. It was not banging. It was not hitting at all. the first couple of songs I like sent out to friends, I was like, hey, like, how does this sound? Let me know what you think. They were like, yeah, no, it's cool. Keep building. And I listen back to it now. I'm like, damn, like they were being really nice. Yeah, they were really supportive, which I appreciate. But it was not looking good. But yeah, I did that for a bit, and one of those days it just started sounding decent enough to like start releasing music. I think probably like 6 months after starting to learn how to make music. Put out my first thing. Again, like decent reception. I mean, decent, but like obviously, I think it was a big moment for me. Maybe like a year after I started making music, when I get the first stream numbers, like over 1,000, because you know Spotify doesn't show any streams below 1,000. So when I hit 1,000 on my first song, I was like, you know, I made it. I was like, I'm in. You know, I put out my first EP and like tried to market it myself, sent it to like playlisters and bloggers and try to get the word out a bit, and it got a tiny amount of buzz, just so that like I was like at least proof of concept that some people like this, which meant a lot to me. The next year, I think after the music came out, I was like, okay, yeah, this is like not super good, and I could see where with production and songwriting and my voice, I could see how it all could improve. So I wanted to take some time to like really develop that, and I started working on an album. That was my first album, The End of the World. In between that time, I met Dennis like while I was working on the album, because a friend had like that I was living with in New York, working on an audio tech startup. One of my friends, I mean, you know Rami, but he was like, oh, I have this friend who's interning at RCA, he should come hear your stuff. And then Dennis pulled up one day, started listening to some of the demos, and we just talked for like, you know, 4 or 5 hours about like what I wanted out of the music industry, and, you know, his experience, and like, you know, he was giving me a bunch of advice on like where I could take things, and then at some point I just mentioned that I was looking for a manager. Like that was the next step that I wanted, and he was like, I'll do it. And then I was like, if you're serious about that, I'll take you up on it. And then he was like, okay, he'll think about it for like a couple of days and get back to me. And then a couple of days later he came over again, heard some of the songs again, and we just like locked in.
A million miles away, I know 2 stars are feeling something I do. I really relay so long for you, so long, so long, so long. The truth is, I've waited so long for you.
We went to Martha's Vineyard with his parents, because they always vacation there, and shot all the cover images and a couple music videos for that entire album. But yeah, put out the project, decent reception, probably the most streams I'd had up until that point. And yeah, things were looking good. We got hit up by a record label to like sign to in New York, which was perfect because I was planning to move to New York. This is my senior year, so it was like, okay, set in stone. At least they'll give me a little bit of money, move over to New York, start up, and you know. And then like maybe like a month before graduation, they ghosted. And so then it was like, oh, like I don't know how we're gonna, you know, make this whole thing happen. But my parents had got me a car while I was in college. They were like, okay, since you know you planned this whole thing, you're expecting this money, like you can sell the car and like use that, move to New York, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, find a real job, you know. Yeah, just moved out and started, you know, doing the whole release thing. I was also getting back into dating, so I was like going on Hinge dates, and on this one Hinge date, we like met up in the park. It's like our first date. I said hi to her. We're like, oh, let's find a place to sit. And then this guy comes up and is like, he has a camera pointed in my face, like, do you make music? And then I'm like, yeah, I make music. And we do this whole interview. He's like, oh, who are your influences, blah, blah. And then we like finish the video. I'm like, yeah, thanks, bye. We go sit down, and we're just like, what? Like, what just happened? Like, cause we literally just met, and that was like the first day. Went on to have a nice date, but I thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, maybe, you know, maybe it's not the main guy. Maybe it's like one of the like copycat accounts, or maybe he wouldn't even really like the music. So I didn't really talk to anyone about it. It was just me and her. A couple weeks go by, I didn't hear anything. I low-key forgot about it. And then one day I'm in a session with Moe, we're like working on mixing some music. And my phone just keeps buzzing, going off. And I check, and I turn it off because we're in session. So that when I turn it back on, I see like 7 missed calls from Dennis. And I pick up, I'm like, what's going on? He's like, when did this happen? Like, you didn't tell me about this video. And so the video had just dropped, and it was going insane, like thousands of views, like per minute. Like, and I think by the end of the first couple of days, it had like 1 million something views. And no, it just honestly took off. And that was probably the like if we're talking about canon events, like that was the defining moment, at least so far, where the biggest growth change happened. And a lot of people started, really getting into the song and started following me, and that's where things picked up, and we started getting like label attention and all this stuff. Since then, it's been like a case of, working with different labels and releasing new music and just kind of trying to still steadily maintain and grow the audience. I think it was nice to experience that kind of like rapid, almost like rocket ship growth, very quickly, but it's definitely slowed down to a way. And I think I was hoping, at the start that growth would just continue and I would just, but I've started to learn like growth is not linear, and I think life is made up of a bunch of those, moments that can take you to the next level and you kind of exist, and you just have to be, I guess, resilient in those coasting moments and wait for the next, the next wave. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Come on. Wait, you just met the girl that day?
I'm talking like 30 seconds before that video. Like we said hi to each other. We were like, let's go find a place to see. We started walking and then that shit happened.
Please.
I'm not gonna lie, I hate that question because I low-key don't remember. Like, no, so like I had it written down. Right? Like when I was starting music, I gotta start just telling a lie. Like, I had a notebook that I was keeping and I had like probably hundreds of names. I wrote a bunch of names down and I don't remember like, let me see. Wow, I really don't remember any other ones. I actually don't remember. I think there were some other ones that had hibiscus in them, but black hibiscus was the one that stuck. I picked hibiscus because I just really like the flower. I think it's a beautiful flower. I just remember seeing that name written down and it just resonated and I kept coming back to that one out of all of them and it really stuck.
I'll try your number till you get home. Sweet poems that I left in your voicemail, please listen alone.
My halftime song, it's hard to pick just one, but it would be a song by Playboi Carti. It would either be R.I.P., Flatbed Freestyle, HBA, or Crank.
That was like a lot, man.
It's like those, they all have the same,
Yeah.
choose one. Okay, right now, recency bias, but Crank. I've been listening to that one a lot.
Why?
Just the energy. Like, I think for me, halftime, you gotta see it through. And I think an energy boost is necessary for that. I listen to a lot of Playboi Carti whenever I need like to get amped up for something. I think typically when I'm creating something, first, I think I've changed. I used to have a process of like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and now we're starting. But I think my starting is usually an inspired moment from just like existing. So we could literally be, let's say midway through this conversation, if I get an idea and, you guys are down and I pull out my phone and I just type it in. So I come back to that. I think I get inspired like frequently. I think the shower is honestly a great place. In my head, I have a bunch of like projects that I'm working on at the same time. So like I have a few albums that I'm thinking through. I have one that I'm like actively producing and singing on and blah, blah, but like a couple that I'm thinking about. And then I have a few short films that I'm thinking about. And then I have a few design collection stuff that I'm thinking about. And so because I know that I'm actively on these, any idea that sparks at any moment, I write that down. So then when I'm ready to like sit down and face a bit of work, I just refer to those ideas, the like inspired moment, and then work off of that. Then expand the inspiration to like things that I admire in the world that already exist. So if it's with a new song that I'm making and I know, let's say Playboi Carti, for example, and I want to make a song that has the energy of a Playboi Carti song, I would pick like 5 Carti songs and then maybe 5 songs from other artists and then 5 songs that have like little details that I would want to be included in that. And now I have this whole playlist as a reference for one song. And I say like, oh, these drums here, the way the kick is like getting through the mix, I like that a lot. So I would save that as a reference for that. And then this one here, the way the 808 is like extended, like the sustain on the 808 is 3 seconds or something. It's like a long blah, blah, like take that from there. And I sort of have those as like our basis point for starting something so that when I then open up a DAW, I'm not just kind of looking at ground zero. I think I'm like, I won't say I'm never thinking about it. I think I'm rarely thinking about it. I think there's certain songs I've made. Funny enough, the songs that I hate the most that I've made, which is why it's like it's not a thing I indulge in anymore. It's stuff that I was like hoping would do well, or like I make a certain type of song and then I'm like, oh, if I just push it even further and if I do this to it, I feel like people will respond positively. And I think the second I start making those like decisions not in service of me or my craft, and if for like what I assume someone else wants to hear, I just get disconnected from it, and that's when it loses me.
When you go on like tours and stuff, like what's your fan base? What does your fan look like?
That's very interesting. I feel like it differs so much. So I mean, I think a big part of it as well is that I've never been on a headline tour yet. So it's kind of hard to gauge, because so the first tour that went on last year was with this group Bathe, like bigger traditional R&B, I guess, leaning, like still alternative but more traditional R&B than I am. And they have like a massive New York-based audience, but a lot of their fans are like Black 30s. Is the age. So like on that tour, there's a lot of Black 30s people. And then obviously like my friends come to the New York shows. I had a couple fans on both tours who were like in either city would just like come just to see me and then opening. And then each time they were all different. So it was like all age range, I'd say probably between like 18 and 35 and all races. So and also all genders. So it's a very interesting mix. My register, I would say, is me. I feel like, and collaboration is something that I'm trying to get better at, but I think I work best when I work like quietly and alone. I think I have a lot of, I like having a lot of creative control over every part of the process when I'm making anything. So I honestly would say that's for me. My carolero is definitely Dennis. I think in this whole, journey that we've been on together, there have been so many, the top of the world moments, and then there's so many like rock bottom, like I don't want to do this anymore, I think Dennis is a great person to have in your corner, and he's very like always willing to give that energy of keep going, because it's all about the end goal. Like again, like you said, it's a football match. We're not even at halftime. Like you can't walk off the pitch at 35 minutes, Look, I might go with Dennis again as my 9. I think he's a very consistent person who's able to do a lot. I think obviously we share a lot of similarities in that we try to do a lot with our time. Both really passionate about music, but also really passionate about a lot of different things and willing to put the energy into accomplish things in all those different spaces. And I think Dennis is someone who's just like, there's certain people I know who are like, yeah, you're gonna make it. And I feel that way about Dennis, so it's definitely great to look to him for that.
I never know quite how to feel when you bite your affection, you bite your attention, and maybe we're nothing.
Okay, yeah, I have one. It's not funny really, but it is a cool story, I guess, just on my journey. So after that whole viral video moment, we ended up getting a lot of label attention, and people were like, trying to talk to us and reaching out to sign us and things like that. And so we planned. So actually, outside of all that, a few weeks before that moment even happened, Dennis got the call up to do a music festival called LA3C. He's gonna have a set, and this festival was like Questlove, Erykah Badu, Nick Hakim, who's like the guy who I found in high school. He's like one of my favorite artists. And so we were all hyped for Dennis. We were all gonna go to LA anyways to go support during the set. And then this moment happened. We got all these calls from labels, and so we were like, okay, we'll extend our stay in LA a little bit longer. The first half we'll like end up going and meeting all these people. So fly out there, and we're living large. Like we're acting like we own LA. Like I land, like Dennis picks me up from the airport, and like he got a convertible BMW. Like we're rolling around like we own Los Angeles. That was a really fun trip. We met all of these labels, had a good time. And then Dennis is having a set at LA3C like that weekend. And like during his set, because Nick Hakim was supposed to perform like that night, and we're all gonna go see him because I told everybody like we all have to go see this guy. And I see him walking behind like Dennis's stage, like walking to the bathroom, and we're in the VIP section because obviously we were with Dennis. And so I'm like, okay, I have to go talk to this man.
Never met him.
I never met him before. But so I walk over, I kind of stand, you know, a few feet away from the toilet, let him do his thing. So when he walks out, I'm like, yo, like, hey, I'm a big fan, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, he feels like he's seen my face before, like, have you met before? And I was like, I don't know, like, I make music as well, like, I'm Black Hibiscus. He's like, oh, like, he had seen the viral video where I mentioned him as, like, one of my biggest inspirations. He's like, oh, like, he's familiar with my music. And I was just like, like head exploded, like, you know? So we ended up chatting for like, you know, 15, 20 minutes, just about music, and gave me some advice, and it was a really good time. The version of myself I'm trying to become is actualizing my creative spirit to the forefront of what we put out. I guess in a way, I feel like I've been working with the audience in mind in a lot of ways, or like thinking through, you know, my story as an artist, or what people are expecting or what people are not expecting, or grappling all these ideas as opposed to just being and making. And I feel like, especially with the pressures of like, okay, you know, we need the next record label deal, so that means the numbers have to be there and blah, blah, and all these concerns. And I think I'm trying to unlearn that, because I think it has been creatively stifling. So I'm trying to get to the next level of like creative confidence to just be and do and trust that like that is what will get me where I need to go. Oh, yeah, if everything goes right, like nobody's gonna see me again. Like I'm going to the middle of nowhere, I'm buying a plot of land, I'm gonna wake up every day, I'm gonna make good music, I'm gonna do good designs, and
No one's gonna hear it then. You know one's gonna hear it.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be putting out, like I know I'll be making music forever, that much I know. I don't know at what point I'll decide like I'm gonna start making it private. But I know that like as soon as I can financially, where like I trust that my audience will still care about me and I don't need to be posting 2 stories every day to make sure the algorithm is messing with me. And you know, I think success is when I'm out of that dependency and when I can just exist and create and have the financial freedom to just do that.
So long, so long, so long, the truth is I miss it in the rain, and I wish we had lost that time. Hold me close and don't let go just tonight. Offer